Hey everybody, it's Morgan Taylor with the Women in Film Project, and we're about to get started. Hey everyone. Hello, hello.
Hi, hello.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, thanks for being here and happy Friday.
Woo!
Ooh, we're getting there. It's September, so it's sort of doesn't always feel like the weekend even when it's like the end of
Yeah.
time tides, but we made it through another week. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty
Well,
well.
good. Awesome.
Can't
Well,
complain.
a little nervous.
Oh, you do great.
Cute.
Yeah, it's just a casual conversation. You can pretend it's just you and me talking, and
Okay, cool.
people can learn from your story and
Mhm.
your experience in the industry.
Hey, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, as people are trickling in, I already see comments coming in. Go, Melissa. Yeah, we'll get started. So, hi
Okay.
everybody. I'm Morgan Taylor. I'm the host of the Women in Film Project. I'm also a documentary filmmaker, and I'm here with Melissa Baltierra, first assistant camera based in Los Angeles. So, if you want to give a brief introduction of yourself for people tuning in who don't already know who you are.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, like you said, my name is Melissa. I'm a first AC. I've been a first AC for 6 years now, which is so wild to say that number because I remember when it used to be, oh, 2 years, 3 years, and now it's six. And I'm like, wow, it's been such a blessing, such a ride, so many lessons learned, and I plan on being a first AC for the next 30 years, honestly. I genuinely love it so much. I love focus pulling. I love the technical side of it. I love working with a team. I love working with my friends. It's truly an amazing job.
Oh, that's amazing. And I love that you love what you do. I think something that
Definitely.
helps you shine while you're doing it too, because you just, are in it for the journey too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. How did you get your start in the industry? What drew you to film?
So I like this question because it kind of feels like a lot of little things throughout my life that was slowly pushing me towards the film industry. Just being really drawn into films and TV shows when I was younger, and like coming home and like from school and watching old TV shows with my dad, like it was just always fascinating and drew me in. And like I knew at a very young age that there's a lot of people behind the camera. It wasn't just on the screen, it was the people behind that camera that got me interested in filmmaking. I just knew there was a lot going into it, a lot of passion. It wasn't just the people on screen. And so knowing that from a young age got me really interested in just behind the scenes stuff. So in middle school, I did like stagehand stuff for like productions our middle school would put on and stuff like that. And I would work the spotlight or be backstage. And so that opened the door a lot for me, as well as Fairgrove Academy was my middle school. And so it was a public art school, and I had the opportunity to learn about filmmaking in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. And that still wasn't the like, oh my gosh moment, It was like, this is really cool, but I was really interested and happy that I got to see that process. But it wasn't until high school when I asked my dad for a camera, and he ended up giving me his film camera that he used when he was in his 20s and stuff, so I wasn't expecting that. Like, I didn't even know what a film camera was. I didn't know what it did. And like, he taught me that process. And after getting my first roll developed and just knowing like my love for filmmaking and like this new medium in my hand, it kind of just led me towards filmmaking. So yeah, so just I think a lot of little moments in my life pushed me towards this. So
Awesome. And I love how those little moments speak to even the different parts of
mhm.
of film and in the industry, like
Yeah.
productions behind the scenes. There's so much of a
Mhm.
beautiful energy of being part
Yes.
of. on putting on art, and you
Def-
have the technical side of holding a camera and exploring.
mhm. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So what along that journey and all those little things, what kind of inspired you along the way?
What inspired me along the way, honestly, because we all know the film industry is very hard to, you know, be a full-time freelancer, you know. So I think what inspired me most was my support system, just all the support that was behind me, my mom and dad, my brothers and sisters, my fiance Efren. Like, I have the best support system I could ever ask for, and them never giving up on me and always pushing me to do better and put myself out there has just been the driving force behind my passion for sure. As well as just focus pooling and getting hands on and being a part of a shot. That is inspiring, you know, going up to your camera operator afterwards and getting a like doing a high five because everyone just felt so good about that shot. It's very, you know, like soul, like reviving, and it just feeds your soul. And when you get to do that with your friends and good people and good energy, it's very inspiring to keep going.
Amazing. Yeah. And I love that. Sometimes it's the people. Sometimes filmmaking, it's usually always the people because
Hmm.
such a lonely journey, but having the right people around you and
Yeah,
in your corner rooting you on.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely feel like I have a good community around me.
yeah, absolutely. And focus pulling, I think it's so precise that I can understand the rush of,
Yes.
well, we got the shot.
Definitely. That's one thing I hear a lot of second ACs say, like, oh, I'll never focus pull because it is a lot of pressure. And I totally understand that. But when have that hand unit in my hand and I'm looking at my monitor, it's just like adrenaline rush, you know, like honestly, like to be able to get like one chance at something with three other people trying to make it cohesive, you know, like it is a rush. It genuinely is. And, you know, actors get a lot of tries, 6, 7, 8 takes or whatever, but ACs, you have to be on point every single take because they need to get what they need to get in those shots, you know? So it can definitely be high pressure, but in such a good way for me. Like, I genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah, and since that's your skill and your expertise, I'm sure there's a confidence there that even though it's the high stakes pressure situation, you know your stuff.
Yeah, I definitely try, you know, and it wasn't like, oh, it took me 1 year to get here. No, it I've been learning and gathering information to make me up to par with everyone else and be able to walk on any set and be able to perform because it genuinely is, you know, you're working with the camera, so if something doesn't work, it's on you as the first AC to make sure that everything gets there properly and working properly. And if anything happens on set, you have to fix it. You know, a lot of acing is just troubleshooting, which can be scary in the beginning, but I think as you go throughout the years and gain more knowledge under your belt, it's a lot easier to troubleshoot and be up to par, and you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of examples of things for people who are less familiar with
Mhm.
the AC position. What are some
Yeah.
things that you troubleshoot on a day-to-day basis on set?
So the goal is to not troubleshoot at all. You know, the goal is to have a really good prep day and enough manpower on prep day to be able to show up to set with no problems. All of that should be figured out the day before. Um, so getting onto set and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I had a brain
No,
fart. Can you
you're
ask?
good.
Can you ask the question again? Sorry.
Yeah. So you were saying that troubleshooting, a lot of times you want
Yeah.
to deal with a lot of that the day before, but
Yeah.
kind of what are some of those things that you're
Oh,
making sure go right?
yes, yes. So a lot of just signal issues or power issues or um, things that stop working out of nowhere, and you're like, this was working yesterday. So I think getting those years under your belt really, really helps over time, because I remember probably it took me 4 years to stop being nervous on set, like waking up and being nervous for work. So being able to wake up and be confident in my movements and my knowledge and my skill set really helps troubleshoot on set. Because just anything can go wrong. You never know. You anything, and so it's our job to make sure that we're still flowing and we don't hold up production, and that everything's working on our side. So that's a huge part of it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's being prepared to be prepared to be prepared.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned that for the type of work that you do, you've been freelancing for all of this time.
Mm.
You want to talk about that at all? Like what's it like full-time freelancing in film?
Yeah, for sure. So it took me 2 years to be able to full-time freelance. Um, and once I hit that 2 year mark and it just started to be my only job, was really, really nice. Um, and then it took me about 4 years to be able to start saying no to things. And hitting that mark was truly, truly a blessing, because to be able to create your own schedule and to know what environments you thrive in and then you'll succeed in is really important. So being able to turn down, like desert jobs, like I don't thrive in the desert. I can do it, but I am very sensitive to the sun, and I my eyes are sensitive. I'm heat sensitive. So to be able to be like, I can do this, but I don't need to, has been awesome, and true, like I said, truly a blessing, because who has the privilege to say no to work? It genuinely is a privilege to say no to work. So being a freelancer in this industry has just been a lot of hard work, of course, but really nice too, to go at your own pace and work when you want to work and take those breaks when you need to take them. So finding that balance, and all the learning curves that come with being a full-time freelancer, because there's more learning curves than I would have ever thought. Like, you're learning how to fight for your money, learning how to negotiate, learning how to deal with personalities on set, and difficult situations, because it's artistic but also technical. And so just gaining a lot of experience and learning new things to be able to continue on this path is very interesting and fun and hard and all the things to figure out. So
Yeah,
it's
it sounds
it's
like the process of figuring out is also maybe exciting.
yeah, it is and it isn't, because you want to know the thing, but you don't know the thing until someone teaches you the thing. So that's why I'm really big on mentoring, because I never had that solid mentor in the beginning. Like, I reached out to a lot of people, and even female ACs that went to my college in San Francisco and had the same teachers, and our first ACs now turned me down, ignored me. So that's why I'm big on mentoring, because you can learn the things on your own, but it's going to be harder, and it is nice to have that guidance. So definitely want to give back to the AC community.
That's amazing. Yeah. How do people find you for these sort of giving back scenarios, or are you reaching out to people? How does that look?
So in the beginning, a lot of people would reach out to me, like as I started to get like further into my years, like, hey Melissa, I'd love to go to a prep with you, or shadow you. And it was a lot easier before the pandemic, because I would just like ask for permission from producers, like, hey, can I bring this person on? They want to shadow me, type of thing. So it started out with people asking if they could shadow, and then as it kind of got like more and more and more, I wanted to be able to kind of put us all in one place and build this community. So I actually created a group called AC Friends, and it started on Instagram as a group chat, literally just 8 AC friends, like, hey, here's a group chat where we could share information and experiences and tips. And that grew to 30 people, and we capped out on Instagram. We can't add more than 30 people on a group chat. So then we moved to Discord, and now we're at 85 people. And I'm like, when did that happen? You know, because uh, I was just I was just starting it for our friends, and people were asking, "Hey, can I add this person? Can I add this?" And of course, that is what we're here for. You know, like this is a community to pass on knowledge and to give encouragement and to talk about learning experiences. And it's a community. It definitely is. People put their inputs like, "Hey, can we add these types of threads? I think this would be helpful." You know, stuff like that. And I really like the fact that it's called AC Friends because it should feel open, you know, it should feel, shouldn't be scared to ask any of us questions, you know, and I feel so grateful to have people like Matthew Borick, you know, in that group chat. He's a Union First AC, and we have DPs in there, and we have really green ACs, really experienced ACs. So to put all of our knowledge together and have it organized and in one spot, and for us all to play off of each other and just help each other out, it's been really, really cool to see. It really has been, because a lot of people too like send me messages like, thank you for creating this group chat, I've been looking for something like this. And I remember starting out too and looking for something like that, you know. So that's why I do it, and that's why I'll continue to do it. And I'm thankful for all the help that I get in that group chat, you know, from all the other ACs, because I can't answer every question, you know. So it's nice to have experienced people, or just people who are willing to put in the time and effort to answer other people's questions. So it's been great.
I love that. And even the whole idea behind it is that generosity of sharing freely
Right.
everything learned. And I think that's a lot of times how mentoring works. You're helping other people start further along than where
Yes,
you had started.
definitely, definitely. And I used to be kind of not upset, but like hurt a little, you know, in the beginning when I reached out to a lot of people. I offered to work for free, I offered to prep for free, and just no one gave me the time of day, you know. So I used to be hurt by that, but it's what fueled me to be the mentor that I've always wanted, you know. So I'm thankful for the people who said no to me and ignored me, because then it allowed me to have empathy towards other people who are first starting out and people that I can help out, just because I know what it was like, you know. I was there, you know. So, and I'm still learning to this day. So um, I am grateful for those people pushing me to the side in the early years, because now I'm here and able to help others, and I hopefully can help continue to help others.
Oh, amazing. If people in the Women in Film Project community want to join that Discord, what should they do? Should they reach out to you? What are those? How do they get involved?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, reach out to me and I'll send you the link to be added, because for whatever reason you can't, you know, Discord. I don't really use, never used Discord before this, so it has to be sent to you. So if you reach out to me, I can definitely add you to that group and go through the information on all of our side conversation tabs. And yeah, so reach out to me, add me, and I'll definitely send that link out.
Oh, I love that, and I love even I'm watching as the comments have been trickling in of people who know you as a mentor and know you as part of your community, and I think that just speaks to how great you are at sharing your skills and being a leader in your space in the industry.
Yeah, it's honestly mind-boggling, because I would have never thought I would be in this position or have someone or a project as awesome as Women in Film Project reach out to me and like want to hear what I have to say. So it's been a journey, and I'm very glad to be in this position, and just genuinely wanting to help people, because like I said, I know what it feels like to be so hungry for that information but not knowing how to get it or figure it out on your own, and all of those hard lessons that I had to learn on my own. Like there's been many times where I've driven home crying because something happened on set, or like something wild or anything. So um, I feel like I want to help lessen those traumatic experiences for people, because like I said, you have to learn on your own. So if you learn the hard way, you learn the hard way. And I want to help people learn, but not the hard way.
Yeah, amazing. I love your heart in that. It's so beautiful. And everyone, if you're interested in ACing, or if you are an AC, or if you're thinking about being an AC, please reach out to
Yes,
Melissa. Just
definitely.
That's amazing. I love it. Um, yeah, so I guess let's talk about some of those things that you help people with. Like you said, it was hard for you to get on sets initially. How did
Yes.
you meet the right people? Was that networking? Like, how did that actually break through for you?
Yeah, for sure. So I like to think of it as a snowball effect, you know. Um, I didn't get a chance to graduate college, and that's fine. I still got what I needed from it, and it gave me the tools and the confidence to be able to hold an $80,000 lens and be fine, you know. So working for free in the beginning, and I gave myself a window, you know, because you can't just work for free forever. People will take advantage of that. So I gave myself a window to work for free or super low rates, just to build trust behind my name, because people just don't hire first ACs if they don't know you. You need to have a good rep, you know, because you can tell, you like, focus pulling is very distracting when it's not, you know, done very well. So I worked for free in the beginning, and build trust behind my name. And um, once those DPs saw that I can do the job, they started to bring me on to paid jobs, and then started referring me. And then it was just a snowball effect from there. And a 2 year snowball effect led to working full time freelance. But I think definitely building trust behind your name is super important, and letting people know that you can do the job. And if you have to work for free in the beginning so that people know that, then so be it, you know. But definitely set a time limit or a time frame on that, because like I said, you can take advantage of, but you can be taken advantage of. But once you know your worth, you start charging, and like your day rate goes higher as you gain more skill, and you start moving up and up and up. So it was definitely just getting that knowledge and those experiences and opportunities, honestly. So shout out to all the people that gave me those opportunities in the beginning. And also too, this is kind of unconventional, but I made business cards, and when I would see people filming on the street, I would literally pull over and hand out my business cards to whoever was nearby, or like, hey, can you pass this to the camera team? You know, any way to put yourself out there. Um, so just a lot of effort and a lot of trying, and a lot of hours went into getting to that point.
Yeah, a lot of perseverance, and I love how creative you got with it. Because even though that might be unconventional, that's
Mm-hmm.
something specific to your area that you
Yes.
took advantage of. You know,
Yes, definitely.
in LA, people are out filming,
All
so
the
that
time.
becomes something you can get creative with. And I wonder what, with enough determination, you can get creative no matter where you are. If you're in LA, if you're somewhere else, to find the people and put yourself in those situations.
Absolutely. And determination is a huge part of it. Determination, perseverance, and just because there's been many times where I did want to quit, because it's so hard, you know, and I'll keep saying that. It's so hard. It was so hard. It continues to be um, a learning curve sometimes, but I think persevering every single time helps. And like those hard days on set, I'm very thankful for those hard days. At the end of the day or during the day, whenever, I take time to reflect. What could I have done differently? What should I do next time? What did I learn from this experience? I try not to take it to heart, you know, like this happened, but what can be better next time because of this situation. So anytime there's a really hard day on set, I'm actually thankful for it, because that means I'm gaining more knowledge for the next time and it won't happen again, or I'll be prepared the next time type of thing. So just
Yeah.
flipping the script a little bit and seeing what you can take out of the negative situation and turn it into a positive and use that, you know?
Yeah. I've heard it said it's like a when you fall forward. You're not it's not a huge step backwards. People make mistakes. Nothing is perfect. It's hard to
Yeah,
attain. Like, you can never attain perfection, but you can grow from every situation and be more prepared for next time.
for sure. And that's still like that's still something that I deal with now, 6 years into it. I'm still learning. I'm still trying my best to obviously be the best you can, but at the end of the day, we are humans. But on set, we're expected to be with the precision of a robot. You have such high expectations on set, like everyone does in every department. You're there to deliver, you know, and so those days when you do have a mess up or you do forget something at your prep day, or um, recently I assumed something, and I always tell my ACs never assume something. You know, if you're assuming something, go walk over to the person and figure it out. And recently I assumed something, so it's like just reinstilling that into me and knowing um, that I'm not going to be 100% perfect all the time, and I need to give myself some grace, you know. I need to be um, obviously not try to mess up and you know, not take it, oh, it's fine, you know, but also too to allow myself to learn from my mistakes still, and know that I'm not going to be 100% perfect, even though we all want to be. So I think it's really important to allow ourselves some grace.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I like that a lot too, because when you're trying to be perfect all the time, it almost inhibits the creative part, or you're almost anticipating that you're going to make a mistake, and somehow, inevitably, when you're
Yeah.
afraid you're going to make the mistake happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also uh, that and putting DPs on a pedestal. Like, yes, DPs are awesome, and we love them, and they work hard. But me not looking up DPs before I work with them has helped a lot, because then I don't have this like idea of them like, oh my God, they worked on this, or they're this person's go-to DP. You know, I'm there to work for this person and do a good job, like on every other job, you know? So not putting that pressure on myself of knowing these like high up DPs helps a lot too, because it just allows me to do my job and do it well and not have that extra added pressure. So I think that helped a lot too.
I think that's a great tip for any area in the industry too, because a lot of times it's almost a celebrity culture in film and in entertainment of not realizing, wait, we're all people.
Yes,
And
yes,
if you're in the room, you've worked hard to deserve a place in the room.
exactly. You're there for a reason. They called you for a reason. You have the skills, or else you wouldn't be called or referred, you know? So definitely.
Yeah. I think that's a great tip. I'm gonna write that one down. Because you want to be prepared, but if you're too prepared, then you get all in your head.
Yes, and that's definitely easy to mess up when you're in your head.
Yeah. So throughout your journey, your career, I think it's incredible that you've been full time freelancing. What are some of your biggest accomplishments or things that you're proud of?
Oh, okay. So one that really sticks out to me, I almost want to cry. um, when I first started out, I PA'd on a music video for Rich Brian, and this was first year of freelancing, and I was a fan of his. You know, I introduced myself like, hey, I'm your PA, let me know if you need anything. I went out and got him in and out for dinner, you know, like was just like assigned to him all day, you know. And then this year I was actually able to pull focus on him, so to be able to start off PAing for him, and then seeing that level of the music video and looking at the first AC and being like, wow, I want to be there one day. And then this year was that year for it to happen. I'm just so incredibly grateful. And I did have the opportunity to pull focus on him last year, but I was already booked, so I couldn't do that. But I was like, it's gonna happen again, you know, like manifest it. What you want, manifest it for sure. And so that ended up happening, and I was just like, on that day, I was just so grateful to be there and to be working with Maud Laurent, my second AC, and just like being in awe, you know, like, wow, I was buying this guy in and out 6 years ago, and now I'm pulling focus for him, you know. So moments like that, or like moments like having stuff play in Times Square, insane. Like, what? Insane. It's honestly crazy. So those are definitely some key moments for sure. Just full circle moments have been really nice to see. Very puts things into perspective.
Yeah, and the perspective is really the journey where you were heading towards this direction that whole time. And no matter how far away you may have felt from it, it's like that's where you were headed. You're headed
Yeah.
towards that.
Yes.
And it's it's really just a beautiful thing. And I think the gratitude part is huge to, be in the moment and just, wow, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Definitely. Definitely. Absolutely. Oh yeah, and then another one. It sounds kind of bougie, but being able to turn down a Kanye West music video was an honor, honestly. You know, because I was like, actually, I don't want to. I don't want to, and I can't right now. So that was an also like whoa moment. Like you grow up listening to his music, and then being able to turn down a music to work on a music video is so interesting, and I will say it was a blessing. I'm not trying to last minute work overnight, all crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's almost this piece of, I'm like, I love because you said it earlier too. It's the ability to turn down work. It's a privilege.
Yeah.
To see it as a privilege, it's like, wow, I'm okay. I don't have to be desperate or like work when I need to really
Yeah. So
sleep
overwork
or rest
yourself.
or yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah. What kind of on that note, I'm wondering if there's things, whether it's prioritizing mental health or what what is there anything else besides being able to turn projects down that you've been able to
Mhm.
do for you?
Yeah. I think taking the time to appreciate the hard work that got me here, and the difficult situations and the difficult personalities that you encounter, and seeing how far professionalism can take you is truly something. Because having a producer yell at you because they're having a bad day and they're older, and you have to be more professional than a 40-year-old person, you know? So reflecting on all of the good things that you do and how you handle situations, I think is really important as well. And just giving yourself credit, and you don't need to put it on blast and put it on your story or whatever, but taking the time to reflect on how well you responded to something or how you handled a situation is very important. I think we definitely need to not harp on the bad times as much as we do, but also give time to recognize all of the good things that we do for ourselves, and all of the things that we triumph through. Because there's, like I said, there's so many learning curves, and dealing with people in a higher position than you, screaming at you in front of 30 people checking into a set, to have to stand there and take it, because I'm not gonna pop off at a producer the first thing in the morning, even though she's popping off on me and I technically didn't do anything wrong. Just knowing when to speak up for yourself, and knowing when to let it pass by and be like, I'm gonna handle this the correct way, it's been really, really good to know how to do that, you know? So giving yourself credit, learning, knowing what you did was good or you handled something good, I think is super important. So, yes.
Amazing. Yeah, that level-headedness is so important, and I think it's something that everyone is on a journey to attain. It's kind of a difficult thing to
Yeah.
maintain
Yes. I
because
definitely have
motivation,
to thank my
yeah,
dad for that because my dad was the one who taught me really good work ethic, you know, like when I worked at Ace Hardware, I wanted to quit so bad, you know, and I already put my 2 weeks in, and I was like, I'm not trying to finish this 2 weeks. Like, they're like legit, you know, mental abuse type of managers, and and my dad didn't know that part, you know, but like he told me stick to it because that was your word. You gave your word, now follow through with it, you know. So he taught me my work ethic and to finish something I started and to continue going, you know, no matter how hard it is, you know. And I didn't want to finish out those 2 weeks, but I did, and I'm glad I did because it taught me how to persevere through difficult situations that I don't want to be in, you know. So shout out to my dad for instilling good work ethic into me and knowing to keep fighting.
what an inspiration. And I love how you then take what's been instilled to you and you're instilling it into others.
Yes, I try, I try. I love having camera PAs or future ACs shadow me at preps, you know, and sometimes I don't even let them shadow. I let them be my hands and I just walk them through everything, you know, because that's what ACs want. They want hand-on experience. So if you're going to come to a prep with me, you're going to do the work because that's what you're there for and that's what you're here to learn. And I'm right there by you, walking you through everything, you know. So definitely just giving that opportunity to get hands-on experiences, I think, very valuable, and I love being able to help people out like that.
That's awesome. I have a few more questions for you, but I want to let everybody know that we'll also be taking questions from you. So if you have questions for Melissa, please leave them in the comments. There's also a Q&A
Yes,
box
please
that makes it
do.
easier to organize and read, but please drop your questions. We'd love to answer them. So I have a few more here, though, which one of them is, what is one piece of advice for a woman who wants to get started in the film industry? So this could be for ACs, this could be for anybody, but someone who's just starting out, if you could give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
One piece of advice, yes. Um, I would say don't quit because there's going to be many times when you want to quit, and there's going to be situations that will even give you that door to quit, you know. But if you really want this, keep persevering and keep trying, keep searching for new information, keep reaching out to people, keep going to workshops, create those opportunities for yourself if you need to. If someone's not willing to bring you onto a prep, call a rental house and set up a day they're not busy and get your hands on a camera and figure it out yourself. Um, just persevering, don't quit, keep going. That's it. That's it. Because there's going to be so many obstacles, you know? So if you can get past the first 2 years, the first 4 years, keep going, keep going, just keep going.
That's huge. It's and I think it's like I sometimes think of analogies and things, but like a stream that's tiny little stream of water, if it just keeps on going or keeps on hitting the rock and keeps on hitting the rock, it's like that giant rock will break because that little stream of water was so consistently persistent.
Exactly. Exactly. Consistency for sure, for sure. And you know, people can say, well, how can I be consistent if no one's hiring me? I don't have a network. You know, like I said, create those opportunities for yourself. I called Panavision one day and was like, hey, I'd love to get my hands on a gearhead. And they're like, come in on Wednesday. I went in, there was a camera set up, there was a prep tech right there, showed me everything I needed to know, and I was there for 5 hours with my fiance Efren, on Halloween, just practicing the gearhead. And so creating those opportunities for yourself is very helpful, because then you don't have anyone to blame, like, oh, I didn't get to succeed because of this. Like, if you really want it, you can make it happen. There's ways, for sure.
Yeah, opportunity is out there, but you can create your own.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, somebody is asking, how do you transition from PA to different roles?
Oh, easy. You know what you say? I'm a first AC, or I'm a second. Once you stop labeling yourself as a PA, people will stop hiring you as a PA. If you put yourself in that really wide box, you're gonna keep getting hit up for things that you've already been doing, because that's what they know you as. So if you just cut that off and say, I am this, you manifest that, and you believe that, and you work towards that, then PAing will be left long behind. PAing is amazing, and I think PAs are the unsung heroes of every single set. They work so hard, a little too hard, I might add. But if you just manifest what you want to be and say, because I PA'd for 6 months probably, maybe even 3, and I was like, this is not for me. I'm not having fun. I'm not learning anything. People didn't take me seriously when I went around camera and asked questions. They just thought I was this person, like, that didn't know anything, and they didn't want to invest time in me. So I saw that it wasn't getting me anywhere. So if you feel like you're not getting anywhere anymore in PAing, then time to move on and start stepping into what you want to be.
Mm, that's huge. I think what you just described is you're branding yourself before
Mm-hmm.
somebody else can brand you for you. Because they
Yes.
might say, like, oh, you're this, or oh, this is what you do. But if that's not what you want to do, just
Yeah.
tell them what
Right,
you
because
are.
I'm sure. Right. And I'm sure we're all hard workers, and we all do a good job in any position we're put in. So if you're a damn good PA, people are going to be like, I want this person as a PA on my next shoot. But you don't want to be there. Work hard in the position you want to work in?
Amazing. All right, we have another question. What is your motivation for your perseverance and not giving up?
Focus pulling. I love focus pulling. I get sad when it's been like a week or two and I haven't pulled focus. It's truly my passion. It's so fun for me. It it's hard, and it's a dance with other people, and I just love focus pulling. So that's my inspiration. That's what fuels me, and what keeps me fighting through any difficult situation, to get my hands on a hand unit, that next job. So definitely focus pulling.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that translates too for other people. It's find your passion. What's the
Yes.
thing that makes you jump out of bed and you're so excited, or what do you love about it?
Absolutely, yes. And like you said, jump out of bed. I've this past week, 3 a.m. call times, 4 a.m. call times, because apparently farmers wake up really early. We all know this. I was in Iowa for a week, and we had to be up before the farmers. But even though they were long, hard days, you're still jumping out of bed, because that's what you're there for. You're in Iowa to pull focus, to assist, to make something happen. So your passion will fuel you through those difficult times, for sure.
Mm, amazing. All right, another question. When was the moment you learned to advocate for yourself and fellow crew?
So it wasn't one single moment. It was a lot of moments where I wish I had spoken up for myself and I didn't. And then putting that in perspective, um, and then gaining confidence in myself and my skill level and what I can bring to a production gives you your voice. It really does, because yeah, it having confidence in yourself, for sure. And so let me see, a lot of little moments leading up to being able to do that. Um, and so you might go through a lot of hard situations where you look back and you're like, wow, I wish I said something, or I wish I did something differently. And then running into a similar situation later and being like, oh, this is my opportunity to say something because I wish I did last time. So it wasn't one specific moment. It was a lot of little moments that make you realize that you could have said something or you should have said something. Um, and just having respect for your team helps you speak up for yourself as well. And respect for yourself, a lot of the times first ACs this kind of get forgotten about, especially if you're good at your job. Like, you don't get rehearsals, you don't get marks, you're not given anything, and they're just rolling. And to be able to have the confidence of stopping a production from rolling, or before you even get to that point, asking for what you need, because people will just forget about you. So learning how to speak up for yourself, and I think genuinely having the confidence in yourself. Hey director, hey DP, I need an entrance mark. I'm good, not that good. I can't just assume where they're gonna be. So I think definitely confidence in yourself and your movements and your capabilities gives you that strength and that opportunity to speak up for yourself.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, the confidence of stopping something that's like huge, and there's a lot of people, and oh no, should I say something? But
Right,
when you're confident, like, hey, no, we need to know this,
right,
then you're helping the
right,
situation.
right. Because then you're not holding up production by taking 2 or 3 shots as practice because you didn't know what was going on, or being nearby a DP to hear what's going on. So uh, definitely knowing when to speak up and when to not speak up, because sometimes there's not time to say your side on set. Like, I had a DP yell at me on set one time, and I was so like thrown back from it. But I knew it wasn't the time to discuss that. Like, we have a common goal still, and it's to finish filming what we need to film and get out on time. And if I need to have a side conversation after set with that DP, then that's what needs to happen. So knowing, gaining the experience and knowledge of when to speak up is really important as well.
Mm, amazing. Okay, another question. What's your advice for turning down gigs?
What's my advice for turning down gigs? I mean, if you feel comfortable without taking that work, or it's an environment that you're not going to thrive in um, very well, I think definitely um, take pride in being and have confidence in yourself and saying no. And people aren't going to check in on you. So if you say, oh, I'm booked already those days, thank you, I appreciate it, that's all producers need to know. They're gonna be like, oh really, send me that call sheet. So if you need to say no to a job, say no, but feel good about it. Like, don't be like, oh man, I wish I would have said yes. Like, you did it, it happened. Enjoy your time off if you need it, and that's that.
Awesome. Okay, where can you practice focus pulling when you don't have that focus pulling skill to work with yet?
um yes, because you do need a lot of equipment to actually focus pull. So I like this question. Thank you, G. I saw you write that. So a nice one is, get any object you can throw. Any object that you can throw and it'll land, and guess the distance of where it's at, and then measure it out with a measuring tape or a laser measuring tape, and start to build a measuring tape in your head. um, I got lucky because I learned on film, and so I built that measuring tape early on in my career, so I'm very thankful to college for that. But it's very helpful to, if you're in your house, like, how far is the TV, how far is my door, how far is this, whatever. And just that's an easy way to practice focus pulling. getting that measuring tape in your head, because then when you're on set, it'll translate and you'll feel much more confident. You'll kind of have like a map. If you don't have time to get marks, but you have your focus ring mapped out, you can get a rough estimation. So I think that's really helpful.
We love that. Throw things.
Yeah, throw things and measure it. Oh, also, you can measure your wingspan, like how far your arms go out. And if you're on set, you can measure with your arms because you know how far your arms are, you know? So just little tips and tricks like that, I think it can be helpful later on.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Okay, we have somebody's asking, I'm fairly new to the film industry. I'm wheelchair bound and have trouble getting gigs once I disclose I am disabled. Do you have any tips?
I think finding a network and a community that is supportive of you and can help you get onto set and be that extra assistance if you need it. Find a second AC, or if you want to be a first or a second, find someone who is willing to like team up with you and do anything a little bit extra that you may need. Find a good community base to help you get through things like that for sure. And even if that's me, like reach out to me, like come on to set with me, and if we need to alter anything so that you could still be there, then it's gonna happen, because you shouldn't be held back, or people shouldn't discriminate you getting on set for that, like you still have a passion like everyone else, and you need to find a community that is understanding of that and willing to work with you for sure. So
A great answer. Okay, we have a couple more because we're getting on the close to the hour. What is a dream project that you would like to pull focus for?
a dream project. Honestly, the Rich Brian shoot was a dream project for me. It was a long time coming, to be able to go full circle for that, and I was waiting for that moment. I was genuinely waiting years for that moment, literally 6 years. So I'm very blessed to say that I did have that dream project happen. And anytime I get to work with friends and people I care about and who care about me is a dream project. So I feel like I have a really good community, and every project is kind of a dream project.
Awesome. I have a question too about the AC group. Is
Yes.
that only for the Los Angeles area, or is it open to ACs from all over?
We have people from Canada in there. We have people from Florida. It's for everywhere and anyone who wants to join. Anyone who's interested in ACing, even DPs are in there to use it as a resource to staff up if you want to put a job up. So literally anyone who is interested.
Awesome. That's good to know. I may even join myself. I think that
Oh,
that's
for sure.
incredible.
Definitely.
I'll be reaching out to you about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love that.
All right, here we have another question. How do you personally uplift women on set?
How do I personally uplift women on set? I think hiring women is one way to uplift women, and also, um, I a lot of I don't know how it really goes for other people, but I like to negotiate rates for my second ACs before it even reaches them, because I know what my rate is and I know where they should be at on that end, and producers will try to undercut you, and so I like to um, let my female ACs know what I'm getting paid and let them know what they should ask for. Um, so I think one way to uplift people is to get them paid properly, because there's been many times where, why am I getting paid $50 less than a man and I'm filling in for him on something? And so that's not okay with me. So fighting for proper pay is definitely gonna help uplift women. Um, yeah, so I love making sure everyone gets paid what they're deserving of, and I have no problem asking producers for that anymore. So yeah, that and just being there for them if they're uncomfortable or or yeah, uncomfortable on set. There's been times where I've given permission to my second ACs to go home because of the content we were filming or as a safety issue. If you're not feeling safe on set, no problem, no problem. I will not think of it as like, oh my god, this person like took that out, like you got to leave. No, like if you're not feeling safe, you don't like hearing whatever we're filming right now. I open that door for you to leave because there's no reason why you should feel stuck on set. So making sure females feel comfortable and heard and safe on set, I think definitely helps uplift women.
That's amazing. I love all of the stories that you shared today and that just your heart for helping others, but how you are doing it on a day to day on set, being an advocate for your people and your community and teaching what you know, being generous with your knowledge. It really is incredible.
Thank you, thank you. It's been a interesting, rough ride, but definitely feeling blessed from all of the experiences. So, thank you, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, and I will give you the last word. Is there anything else that either we missed or um, like last words of wisdom or something you're working on you want to plug? What would you like to say for everybody here?
I just want to say thank you because being here right now really puts my career into perspective, and I'm glad I'm in a position to help people and continue reaching out to me. And any way I can help, let me know. I'm not trying to have people struggle like I did. So just thank you for this opportunity, and wanting to hear what I have to say is just amazing to me. So thank you to everyone who has been a part of my support system and has been there during hard times, and just yeah, thank you to everyone.
And thank you, Melissa. And to sign off, I'm Morgan Taylor with the Women in Film Project. Feel free to keep following what we're doing at the Women in Film Project. We have different takeovers coming up with filmmakers who are on our stories telling their day to day behind the scenes. So that's something that's really exciting. And we look forward to having more interviews like this. And if you're not already, please follow Melissa and the work that she is doing. And we'll see you guys soon.
Hey, thank you guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was awesome. What a good one.